Welcome to the Wellbeing at Work podcast, where we help you optimize all aspects of well-being in the workplace.
Welcome back to Wellbeing at Work. It is your co-host, Alvy Thompson Jr. I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts, Matt Coleman and Dr. Cody Crockett. In today's episode, we're going to talk all about how posture impacts confidence in the workplace. This is something that I've learned at a young age, how important it is to stand up tall and represent myself well in the world. And this is where posture comes in. And what I want to do first is to get your input, Dr. Crockett, because you are a doctor of physical therapy. You know how important posture is, and you definitely know how posture plays an impact in someone's confidence inside of the workplace. So, Dr. Crockett, to start off, can you let the listeners know how you even define posture?
It is important to have a clear definition of posture before we go any further. So our posture is literally our organization of our body, how we present our body. So do I present my body in a way where I'm upright, where I'm confident, where I have my joints aligned, where I have my bones stacked properly? Or am I in a posture, a position where I'm more rounded forward? Maybe I'm twisted to the side. Maybe I'm bent to the side or bent back. There's so many different variations of posture, but we can simply look at posture as the position of your body. When we talk about the position of our body, we want our bodies to be aligned and arranged in a position where we are aligned properly, where our joints are in the center of the joint itself. This way, our joints can function as joints. For example, if I'm sitting at a desk where I'm in good posture, where my shoulders are back, my head is back, and my joints are aligned, then I'm going to have the ability to move through a full range of motion. So if my joints are centered, I'm able to move my body properly. Now, if we say reverse that and go into a position where you're rounded forward, if you try to then raise your arm up in a rounded forward position, your joints are going to be out of alignment. Your joints are no longer going to be able to function as joints. By having proper posture, not only do we align our joints well, align our bones, and allow our muscles to work in an optimal way, but it also projects confidence, because when I see someone and they're standing up tall, they're standing in a way and positioning their body where it projects confidence, then that's a way that I'm going to receive and perceive them as a confident type of person. And the type of person that is standing more confidently, that stands upright, that stands with their shoulders back, they're going to feel more confident because they're taking on a posture, a body position that is projecting confidence. And we can see this, and I know you, Elvie and Matt, you've seen just the differences in people and how somebody that feels, say, more depressed or sad, or they're in a state of grief or they're closed off, they tend to be in more of a position or a posture where they're rounded forward, where they're sort of caved in through their chest. Where if we look at someone that, say, just won a 100-meter sprint, what are they doing? Typically, they're celebrating. Their arms are up in the air. They're back. They're in more of a power position, a power pose, where they're celebrating. So what's interesting with our posture is our bodies will take on postures based off of how we feel. And also, our feelings will be impacted by the postures that we take on. So this is a two-way street where based off of how you feel, you may take on certain postures, but based on taking a certain posture may result in you feeling a certain way. So when we talk about projecting confidence in the workplace or in any place, if we can take on a posture, or when we can take on a posture or a position where we present ourselves confidently, then others are going to see us as more confident. We're going to feel more confident. So I'm going to toss it to you guys. Let's throw it to you, Matt.
Sure. Yeah, I see. I thought you did a really good job, Cody, of explaining, really the connection between the mind and body to kind of take it to that level, and how posture is more of a body and confidence is something that you produce with your mind, and how those two work together is really the key takeaway that we can get out of this episode that we desire for the listeners to have. And I've seen a lot of people, worked with a lot of people, and it's very easy to determine right off the bat, based off of their body language, what their level of confidence is going to be. And Cody, you use some specific examples. Simply if somebody's coming in, not able to even give you eye contact, use that as an example. That's a part of their posture. It doesn't necessarily, people think posture and they think that, it's just has to do with rounding your spine, etc. I think posture is all of the body language. Like you defined it, Cody, as the body's ability to organize itself. And so with that comes all of the body language that you're showing. I use the example of, if the eyes can even give their attention, but you can see it also with, maybe different like movements in people's hands when they start talking. That's another common thing that I've seen, where they express themselves and they kind of move at a fast pace. You can tell that there's something else that is impacting their posture. And when we think about the connection that good posture has on your confidence, it's really interesting to draw this, correlation between the two. Alvi, I want to pass the torch over to you and essentially just let you add to the topic without even a specific question, because we're big on the mind-body connection over here. I mean, what are some things that you've seen? How can you add, really how posture impacts somebody's confidence in the workplace?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that comes up for me, if you know the great philosopher Deion Sanders, he once said, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. And when you play good, they pay good. You dig. So in that example, and the way he talks about it, he's talking about sports, athletics. And the way we're going to use it, we're going to talk about how this works out in the workplace and understanding that you're going to look good with better posture, right? And to Cody's point, there's this interconnection between your posture, how you carry yourself, and also the feelings and emotions that come up with that. And here's an easy example to think about. If you've ever felt yourself be embarrassed before, what did you do? You probably dropped your head down, your shoulders came forward, you were in a guarded position. And I think all of us subconsciously can pick up on what that guarded position can mean in actual life. It could be some shame, it could be some doubt, it can be uncertainty, you name it. But ultimately, it all goes into this energetic place where you can tell, like, yeah, there's something off with that person. And again, if I think that there's something off with somebody, just from that thought, I'm probably going to take actions now that are going to want to distance myself from him or her. So I say all that to say this. When you are in a great posture because you have good alignment, like Dr. Crockett talked about, because you are standing up tall, shoulders back, right, chin in a good place, you're showing others that you're in a good place. You're showing others that you have a level of certainty. And if you are a leader in the workplace, understand that your employees are constantly looking to you for reassurance. So if you're carrying yourself with a great posture, looking the world in its face, you are going to instill confidence in your employees as well. And also as a leader, if you're noticing a slumped posture on an employee, this is your opportunity to check in on that person. What's going on in their life? What are they up to? What type of assistance do they might need? Because their posture is telling you that something's off. And as a leader, this is your opportunity to be a great coach and check in with that person and ultimately help them get into a position where they feel better. And I'll go on a limb and say, you see what I did there? Out on a limb. We're talking posture. No big deal. But I'll go out on a limb and say, after you talk to that person and you get down to the crux of the matter and they feel heard, understood, and feel better, watch what happens to their posture. I bet you they stand up taller, they feel better, and ultimately they show up in the world, in the workplace, much, much better.
Yeah, I love what you said, Elvie, about if you see someone that, say, may look like they're taking on a more rounded or closed off posture, to be able to check in with them. And, a lot of times I catch myself going into these rounded postures just because of the world that we live in. And so just because of our ergonomics, our environments, it tends to push us into these positions. Even myself working with people on a daily basis, and I still have these propensities to go into these positions. So being able to recognize this in others, to then go out on a limb, see if we can then support them, lift them up, or at least draw attention to that they might be rounded forward, and that if they can sit up taller, that they might be able to take a deeper breath, that they might feel better. And even to look at within yourself and to have that awareness of yourself of when you can catch yourself taking on more of these more less than optimal postures. And even if, say, you might be having a difficult day, or you got some news that kind of pulls you down, and you're in a state where you might be feeling more stress or anxiety, or you might feel more down. Well, even in those situations, if you have people that you support, that you need to show up for, when people look at you to be the example, you want to still convey confidence even when you don't feel confident. By having that awareness to still position yourself in a confident posture, even though you might not feel confident, this can be a way where you can still show up in a powerful, confident way for the employees that you serve, for the people that you serve, so that they still see you as a leader. They see you as an example of being able to show up even when you might not feel like it. So I love what you said, Elvie, about looking for others and how you might be able to support them and draw awareness to their posture, but also noticing the posture changes within ourselves and how our feelings might affect our posture. And then the times where we can then kind of override how we feel, so that we can then bring ourselves into a more confident posture, which might actually start to get you to feel more confident just by taking on more of these confident postures.
I love that. And to wrap up and to close it up, Dr. Kroc, can you give 3 simple, quick tips that anyone listening can do to improve their posture?
Easy. Number 1, stand up tall. We want to be standing up tall. And when you're standing up tall, you are aligning your joints in an optimal way. You're meant to stand up tall, so stand up tall. Number 2, your head position. So many of us have this problem where our heads go forward into this forward head posture. We want to keep our chin tucked back, almost like you're trying to make a double chin. And I understand nobody wants to be seen with a double chin, but it's really important that we activate the muscles of the throat and the neck to help keep the head back. The head goes forward, then we're going to end up with headaches, neck pain, and then further down the chain problems. So number 1, stand up tall. Number 2, tuck your chin back. Number 3, bring your shoulders down. So shoulders, we want to be down. We want to be back. We want our chest to be open. So if we allow the shoulders to fall down and back, that's going to open up the chest. That's going to bring your shoulders back. It's going to allow you to take a deep breath and to feel confident while you do it. So stand up tall, bring your head back, let your shoulders relax, optimize your posture. You're going to feel so much better. And I'm certain that just by taking on a more confident posture, you are going to feel more confident just by doing so. Thank you for listening. I'm sure you got some good information out of this podcast, and join us in the next episode where we're going to be talking about more amazing things that can help you to optimize yourself and the workplace. If you found this podcast valuable, we invite you to check out our free checklist, the 5 action items to optimize your workplace today. You can grab yours over at www.optiwellbeing.com. That's OPTI wellbeing.com. Get yours now, and we'll see you there.